Hey folks, this is Dave Bartosowitz. I said that I wasn't going to be focusing on any more religious videos at all for Lent. Lent it doesn't start for us until the next couple days, but I wanted to put this out. Why? Because there is so much information coming out right now regarding the meeting with Pope Francis and Russell Nelson. Russell Nelson brought all the apostles there to Rome, and they're going to basically bless the Roman temple. And I've been thinking a lot about this, doing a fair amount of reading. The purpose of putting this temple in Rome. They have temples like in Paris. I was out just this week, and in Hartford. They're going into key locations and talking. And you probably remember another video that I did where I met somebody who worked for the company that actually builds the temples and how much it costs. It's like $1,850 a square foot. I mean, they spend $33 to $55 million per temple, and they're planning to build at least 12 to 15 temples every year for the next 10 years. And we also know that they through Russell Nelson, how he felt that they need to shrink the amount of hours with their hours of Sunday service, and now it's only 2. Before it was 3. And I found out, I talked to somebody else that who's in the LDS Church, and they think the reason why they're doing that is because they don't want to build chapels as much, and if by not building chapels, it helps save money, right? So they reduce the amount of hours, and while they're reducing the amount of hours, they're able to put more wards, so they don't have to build as many chapels. Very, 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 very interesting, guys, what's taking place here. One of the things that I've come to realize right now is I read this article today, and it was in the Salt Lake City Tribune, and I'm here in Detroit right now, trying to head back to Salt Lake. But Matthew Bowman, who's the LDS Church historian, he made a point about this meeting with Pope Francis and Russell Nelson, and he said that it shows what they're doing now in Rome, and being in Rome, the authoritative church, right, of Christianity. If you look at, I disagree because I'm Eastern Orthodox, and I think Eastern Orthodoxy, in my beliefs, has the actual treasure of the church there. But he's focusing on this, that they met together, right, with Pope Francis as well as Russell Nelson, and they're trying to become more legitimate in the world. They're focusing more on key areas of putting their temples. They're reducing the slowdown of the chapels, and they're building, these temples that cost $50 million. And I started thinking about this, and I started asking this question to my wife. I said, why do you think they're doing this so much? Why do you think they're putting all these temples in key locations to spotlight themselves? This is what Matthew Bowman says. He said it shows the material legitimacy of the LDS Church. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to show that, right? That look at us. We are powerful now. Look at us in all these locations. We're in Hong Kong. We're now in Rome. We're in Paris. We are in all these big, large areas in London. Look at us. We have a legitimate, powerful, material church. Now, you have to ask the question, too, why are they putting these temples? Well, Washington, D.C., too. I mean, I used to live in the East Coast. I used to go to the temple in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., a very big area, right? Why are they putting these temples in large areas? There's a reason why, because it's so dynamic. It brands them in a way where people are like, oh, they're taking interest. What is this all about? It looks really interesting. It's a beautiful church. I'm going to investigate more. Maybe their temples are like the stars of, like a basketball team, where they go out and people notice them a lot more. These are the stars. The chapels don't do anything because, you have a chapel here and there. People never notice that much about Mormonism. But when you have a temple, big temple going out, wow, people are noticing, and they might be more interested in investigating I think this is the way they are going, to build these temples, to promote themselves a lot more, to have it like people being starstruck, right? Because it's like they're stars, and they're actually going out and maybe becoming more interested in Mormonism because of this. Fascinating idea. I think this is really one of the key things why they're going out and building a lot of temples. I think it's a big thing, guys. I want your thoughts in it, but it looks to me like this is a way they're going to be branding in the future. Put their big temples, their all the bells and whistles and everything to make it super attractive, so that they can actually promote themselves a lot more. I think that's a key thing. I really, really do. Think about that. If you think I'm wrong, write down below. And you know what? I would love to have your subscription. You can go down and subscribe right here and subscribe. I'd love to have your belief in what I'm doing. It's a way to show me that you guys like what I do. Anyway, God bless you guys from Detroit, and thanks for watching.